Hello and welcome to Gradient's weekly roundup of key economic and business developments in Sri Lanka for the week ending 23rd September 2022. I'm Nishani Figuera and here are the top stories for this week. Sri Lanka talks to creditors this Friday. President calls on Sri Lankans in the UK to invest back home. ADB says Sri Lankan economy will contract 8.8% this year. Largest coal supply to be retendered as awardee pulls out. We will also briefly look at other notable news and wrap up with the capital markets update. In our main story this week, Sri Lanka will update its external creditors on Friday of the IMF staff level agreement and also of recent economic developments in the country. Details of the next steps in the debt restructuring process are also to be provided. According to the Ministry of Finance, Friday's engagement is an interactive session accessible by all external creditors. Meanwhile, the High Commission of India in Colombo said that a first round of debt talks with Sri Lankan officials were held on the 16th of September. It stated that discussions were held in a cordial atmosphere, symbolizing India's support to early conclusion and approval of a suitable IMF program for Sri Lanka. On Monday, President Ranil Wickremesinghe invited Sri Lankans living in the United Kingdom to join new investment opportunities created in Sri Lanka. He commented of the challenges Sri Lanka is facing, negotiations with the IMF and impending talks with the creditors. The President made these comments at a meeting organized by the Sri Lanka High Commission in Britain, attended by Sri Lankan businessmen, investors and professionals living in the country. According to the Asian Development Bank, the gross domestic product of Sri Lanka will contract by 8.8% this year and further shrink 3.3% in 2023. Compared to regional peers, Sri Lanka is to perform the worst. Further, the multilateral lending agency estimates inflation in the country at 44.8% in 2022 and will reduce to 18.6% next year. According to Kanchana Wijesekara, Minister of Power and Energy, Sri Lanka will call fresh tenders to procure coal for electricity generation, as the first awardee had refused to proceed following controversy. In August, Sri Lanka awarded the largest ever tender to UAE-based Black Sands Commodities to supply 4.5 million tons of coal from Russia. However, amidst allegations of impropriety, and the company declined to proceed. The engineers at the Ceylon Electricity Board have warned that delays in sourcing coal may lead to power interruptions. In other news, according to the SLTDA, tourist arrivals in the first 15 days of September were 14,833. India was the largest source market, followed by the UK and Germany. Meanwhile, Priyantha Fernando, chairman of the SLTDA, speaking to Economy Next, said that Sri Lanka is to encourage fuel and gas-affected Europeans to travel to Sri Lanka to spend their entire winter instead of a typical 10 to 14-day duration. Adding that strategies are being laid out in this regard, but noted that there is heavy competition from regional countries. According to the Ministry of Agriculture, a bundle of urea fertiliser will be sold for 10,000 rupees for paddy farmers during the season. Further, a 50 kg of urea fertiliser will be sold at 15,000 rupees for tea cultivation and maize cultivation. Arrangements have also been made to provide a bandy fertiliser apart from urea. According to tea brokerage Forbes and Walker, the country's tea production in August fell to 23 million kilograms, declining 9.7% from a year earlier. Dry weather and 7-month ban on chemical fertilizer impacted cultivation, whilst current dollar shortages also affected fertilizer imports. Now let's take a look at the weekly movement of the All-Share Price Index and the S&P SL20 Index at the Colombo Stock Exchange. At the Treasury Bill auction held on Wednesday, yields on all term maturities contracted. Of the 142 billion rupees worth of bids, 65 billion rupees were accepted. Here's how the rupee performed against the dollar this week. In other market news, Dialog Axiata announced a $152.4 million investment in Sri Lanka. This is to expand its mobile and fixed 4G LTE networks, enhance big data analytics, and further develop the Wi-Fi and broadband networks, among others. And that's a wrap for this week. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel at the link below for more updates on economic and business developments in Sri Lanka. Until we see you again next week, thank you for watching. Stay safe.